Hi, good morning. Saturday the 8th of March, 2025. Hope everybody had a good week. As you can see, I dyed my hair, dyed the goatee. Um, and, I got my hair cut last week. Um, I'm still in the middle of editing. Actually, right now I'm editing. I'm getting ready to edit episode 8 of Maze, but I edited episode 6 and 7, and now I'm going to try to see if I can edit episode 8. Today I'm going to see my brother. He's been in a rehab place now. He's out of the hospital. Been in the hospital for a couple of weeks now, and he's in the rehab place. And my sister texted me yesterday. Was at work, and said that they're going to see him today. My two sisters are going, and my niece. My niece gets off work at 4 o'clock, and she drives now. So I think she'll come by and pick us up, and we'll go by and visit him in the rehab place for a couple of hours and stuff. It's been a while since I've seen him, so I'm looking forward to see him and see how he is in his new environment and stuff. And my sister told me that his friends came and got him last weekend, and they took him out and stuff because in the rehab place he is, people can come and actually, he can go out. He can get like a day pass and go out. So his friends from his program, because my brother's in uh, this state place where for people that are alcohol free and drug free, you know, he's been in that place for a fellowship for like years, I think over 20 years or so. And so, he has a bunch of friends in there, and they actually came and got him and took him out for the day, which I think is nice. Um, a couple of interesting things happened. I paid my taxes, and ironically, my W-2 form came the day right after I paid my taxes. I got back home. My stepfather gave me the mail, and there was my W-2 form. Okay, it finally came in March, but when it's supposed to come at the end of January. Anyway, so I paid my taxes. Um, not this week. Last week I had gotten the ultrasound. I went to the place and I got that the urologist recommended me to get the ultrasound. And I think I mentioned this maybe last week when it happened. I think uh, when I went to the place because it's like it's close. It's on Fordham Road, which is relative to where I live at. It's close. It's a ton of blocks that way, but that's like the main shopping district, and it's like right above this Chipotle place. And I got that done, and like I said before, I think I mentioned this last week when I went because I remember talking to my friends about this at work. They when you get there, they told me at the urologist place in the instructions. They said before you go there, the day before, you should hydrate yourself. Drink a lot of water. Okay, so that's what I did. And then that Monday when I went, when I got there, I used the bathroom and then I sat down there, fill out the forms and stuff. And then they told me, okay, she said, okay, this is what you got to pay for this. And then you got to, drink about 3 or 4 cups of water because they want you to have a full bladder. I go, okay, because it's weird because they told me to do it the day before on the instructions. So anyway, I did that, and then after a while, saying that they called me to the back, and she explained me what's going to happen and stuff, and how the procedure is going to go. And then she told me to go wait in the waiting area, and she said, "We'll probably come get you in about 15 minutes." So I was drinking the water, and I think I was on my third cup of water, and then she's basically telling you basically got to hold it, and so I'm trying, I got to go to the bathroom again, but I'm trying to think of other things not to go, and she didn't come back in no 15 minutes. She came back more like in 40 minutes, and it told me, okay, this is the dressing area. Go over here. They have dress, you know, like the shopping area where they have curtains and a dressing room like that, and so go behind here. You can put on, take your clothes off. You can leave your underwear on and stuff, and you can even leave your shoes on. Just put on the robe, the gowns, and she gave me put two on, one in the front and one in the back, and that's what I did. But I had to go so bad. I just couldn't even help because I know they said that you needed full bladder, but I couldn't help it. I took that empty water cup and I had to urinate. I urinated in it, so I don't mean to gross anybody out. And I threw it in the garbage. And I said, it's just ridiculous because I couldn't hold it. I held it as long as I could, but I knew if I would have tried to hold it and then go into that place, I'd have peed on myself. Okay, there's no way I could have held it. And so that's what I did. And then I sat back down and I started drinking another cup of water. I said, okay, let me see if I can fill myself up a little bit more. Maybe it'll take a while, to fill my blood up again. And then I went and they took me into the place, laid me down on the thing, and they scan you in, they pull you in, and they put me in about right up here at the chest high level because they want to get my pelvic area and stuff. And they took a picture. They tell you hear the voice, I guess from the loudspeaker. They tell you to take a deep breath, hold it. They take the pictures, I guess the scans, and then they pull you out. And I did that, and then they told me. She said, "Listen, she gave me the injection because I guess they wanted some kind of injection that they wanted to do some contrast with the scan the normal way that I guess with the scan with the contrast. So I guess maybe that helps with detect if anything's down there. And so she did that, and it makes give you a warm feeling inside. It goes from your head like down to your toes. You really feel like real warm all of a sudden. So she said, "Listen, I'll be back in about 8 minutes, okay, and then we'll do." And then I'm laying there, and I'm going, "Oh man, my bladder's filled up again." I said, "I got it. I really had to go again." I said, "Oh my God!" And so I'm looking up at the ceiling, and I'm laying on the thing, and that was like the longest 8 minutes of my life. I'm counting the ceiling tiles, and just ridiculous. Just going, "Oh my God, this is." I don't know if I could, but thankfully for myself, I was able to hold it. And then they took the final scan, and I know my bladder was full because I had to go real bad. Then as soon as that was over, they pulled me back out, and I told her, "Where's the restroom at?" And she pointed towards me, and I went, and so I think my bladder filled up again, even though I peed before I went into the room. Once drinking that other cup of water, I think filled my bladder back up again, and gave me the urgency to go again. So I peed before I left that place, and then on the way home, I basically decided to walk because it was a relatively nice day. So I decided to walk. I was going to walk from that place all the way down to Pizza Shop over here on Bedford Park. And on the way home, I had to pee again because, like I said, my bladder was full because I was drinking this water. So my bladder got filled up again, and I had to that's unfortunately urinate on the side of the road there. And so that was it. But okay, so that was done. So anyway, and this is another thing. This week I had my dental appointment, right? Because I had to cancel the one that I had in January because the dude one of the other dudes that we work with, he was off too. So I had to reschedule it for this past Tuesday. So I went, and I was a little bit late because of the stupid bus. Bus was taking forever to come. And so I finally got there, and I sat down there for a while. The lady pulled me up there. I was waiting to sit there. It was not that busy. It was like 3 or 4 people in there. And because I know in the mornings it's usually a lot busier, but in the afternoon usually it kind of slows down in terms of people and stuff. And I'm waiting, and then the lady called me up to the counter, and I should have known this when it wasn't one of them, because usually what happens is one of the assistants comes to get you and to tell you to come sit in the chair or go get X-rays before you see the dentist and stuff. Because I'm just going for my normal checkup with the cleaning, and she pulled me up to the counter and said, "Listen, we found out your insurance company only pays for half. They only pay for half of the services that you receive. So you owe this amount of money, okay, a couple of $100." I said, this is ridiculous, and I was beyond pissed. Okay, so I put it on my credit card, and then I called the MetLife to find out, and they basically concurred about what the part, because I went and I checked on the line on the claims and stuff of what the insurance company paid, and then what my portion of it was. And so basically I gotta pay, although I'm disputing the final amount, and I have to talk to them on Monday to find out, because I checked the claim amount on the claim. It was a certain amount, and but what she charged on my credit card was something different. So I'm going to make sure that that is the proper amount before I even pay this. Okay, and then I have the option of paying it over time. Okay, that one, and also the ultrasound thing. Which was a couple of $100 too, and I can pay that over time too, so I don't have to pay that all at once. But I'm also, because this week I got to go back for the bladder scan on Wednesday. But before I go, I called them Friday to try to, because I want to find out exactly what it's going to cost me out of pocket. And so I called and left them a message. I even left my number, but they didn't call me back before I left work. So I'm going to call again in the morning on Monday to see, call early right after 9 o'clock to make sure I want them to call me back, because I want to know exactly what it is, because this, these medical expenses is weird, because insurance ain't crap, and the insurance is nothing. You pay insurance every month, or two times out of your check every month, and yet the insurance barely covers anything. Okay, it barely covers anything. So I already figured out how I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to try to pay for the 2 visits to the urologist and the visit to the City Med place. Those I'm just gonna pay and get those over with, and then the dental amount that I had to pay, and then the amount for the ultrasound, I'm just gonna have to pay that over time. I'm not gonna just I'm not just gonna have to pay it since on my credit card, and they give you the option of paying it over time instead of having to take the one big hit. So I'll just pay it over time, and I figured out how much the money is going to be each month. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to pay it over time, and then if I get a month, sometimes I get paid like 3 times a month, because I normally get paid twice a month, but there are a few months in the year where I get paid 3 times, and when I get the option of paying the third time, I'm just going to see if I can just pay a good chunk of it, like pay 4 payments or something, maybe, with that extra check, just pay like 4 payments, so that way it cuts it down. Okay, so I'll have to do it that way. I just, again, because insurance is nothing, and like I said, it's a racket in the States, in the United States, and you kind of wish it was. I lived in Canada where they subsidize the health care. You didn't have to, because now you can understand why people get charged with medical debt, because insurance companies basically they don't pay anything. Exactly, and trust me, I've seen the 2 bills for the City Med visit and for the urologist visit, and my crappy insurance only paid a small percent. I don't think it would even amount to they don't even pay 5% of it, which is really ridiculous. Okay, but that's unfortunately the country we live in. Okay, enough. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but yeah, like I said, I am going to call. I called them Friday. I'm going to call them again on Monday before my appointment to find out exactly how much it's going to cost for the bladder scan, because I already looked it up on what it normally costs. But you never know what these doctors may jack up the price on it. But if it's, I hope it's definitely less than what I pay for the ultrasound, which was really surprising to me how much the ultrasound costs. And so hopefully that the bladder scan thing is less than, I'm hoping it's way less than that, but because that will be done in the doctor's office. That won't be done in the he sent me off to this place to get it done, radiology, to get it done. So hopefully I'm hoping so that way I can pay that bill, the 2 urologist visits and the City Med visit. I'll pay those out front. I'll pay those with my debit card and get those over and done with, and then I'll only have the ultrasound and the dental the dental bill for my past service, and I can pay those over time. And like I said, when I get that extra check, I can just pay I'll keep paying it every month, and then when I get that check that pays me 3 times, I'll just take a couple of $100 and pay, do maybe like 4 or 5 payments at one time, which will cut a nice quarter of the payments I have to pay for that. The quicker the better. Anyway, And also what I'm going to do is I also want to, I'm going to close my I'm going to close my patron page, because I've had it for over like 2 years, more than 2 years, I think, and it's just not, it's not really it's not really uh, making me a lot, making me any kind of money on it. So it makes no sense to keep doing it. And maybe one day in the future, if I can figure out a way to draw interest to it, maybe I can start it up again. But right now, I think this weekend I'm gonna close it, and I'll make a post about it just so people know. But I'm just gonna close it and be done with it. Take the money that I think I got a couple $100 in there. I'm gonna take that money and use that money to help pay one of these medical bills. And also I think I have over $100. I think maybe $145 on a Venmo card that I have, and I think I want to take that money and the money that I have on the patron page, and maybe pay a bill with that. So, but the main thing is I'm just gonna end the patron page, because it makes no sense to keep doing it, because it's not really generating any money. The merchandise store will keep open, because that I made a sale, I think, the other week, and that I can actually try to promote more my merchandise store, and I'm gonna be buying merch for myself, but that I will keep open. But the patron page, I'm just gonna close it, because it makes no sense to keep it open, because I do have a few patrons. I only have one paying patron, so that makes it kind of defeats the purpose, because the whole purpose of having the patron page is to help you know help you do more things. And it's just I get gaining the traction that I wanted to get when I started it. So I'm gonna go to the patron page either today or tomorrow, and figure out how do you close it down, and then I can transfer that money to my bank account, and just close the account, and and just be done with it. Okay, and I think that's it for as far as the patron page is concerned. I'll just but also what I'm going to do is also, and somebody made the point, I'm going to start trying to do live streams. One at one at first, and then when I get the hang of it, I'm going to probably try to do at least 2 live streams a week, like maybe one on Friday night, and then definitely one on Saturday night. Okay, definitely gonna do that, because that way, if I can build up viewership on my live stream, get more consistent with it, and people know that this too, then get more viewers to it, and then that way that'll increase the hours on my YouTube channel. So hopefully my channel will get monetized, like it was before. It was a long time ago, and then they changed the rules on YouTube. So I have the subscriptions. I just don't have the watch hours on and I've really been, because my whole medical situation, I've been kind of slacking with videos on my regular YouTube page, which I apologize to people that watch me, because I do want to talk about the Green Lantern show, which really they started filming it already. They even released a picture of it, and normally I would make a video about it and stuff, but like I said, my whole medical situation has been weighing on my mind and stuff, and my whole brother thing, so that kind of distracted me, and I apologize for that in advance. But now, and hopefully, like I said, after Wednesday, when I go get this splatter scan, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there's nothing, that there's no cancer and no diabetes or anything. And like I said, I was taking the those Azo pills, up until, what was it, last week? I think I stopped taking them last Wednesday, okay? Because those will help, it made you, it's supposed to, stop you having that sensation to go. And I've been more back to my normal self, not having that urge to, go to the bathroom, except for those 2 times that excuse me, 2 times that I had, 2 times that it happened. So I've been more back to my normal routine of when I need to go to the restroom. And usually, like I said, when I come home, and even when I go to work, because usually I play music or I listen to YouTube on the way, and I'm distracted by that. And usually, I can, even if I have to go to the back, I can hold it. And like I said, that week before that happened on that present day weekend, I was having the urge to go a lot more. And then, like I said, once I started taking the azo pills and I took the antibiotics, it seemed to calm it down. And then I used up all the antibiotics, and I was just taking the azo pills, and then it started giving me cramps at the azo pills, I think. So I just stopped taking them just to see how my body would respond. And it seems like my body has gone back to normal. So I'm hoping after the bladder scan on Wednesday, the doctor will tell me, listen, because I think he mentioned it might be it might have been a urinary tract infection that caused that, because I know that's the first thing that the doctor at the City Med place asked me, are you sexually active? Because I think that's what happens. I think if you, unfortunately, you get a sexually transmitted disease, I think you have that urge to either, or sometimes you get the urinary tract infection. I know it's more common in women than men, but I know men do sometimes get it. So I'm hoping it was just that. And because I think when he does the bladder scan, he wants he wants your bladder to be full. So I think when I get to the doctor's place, I'm going to, if I, they'll either probably tell me to drink some water, or if I have to go to try to hold it, and then they'll inject me and then do the bladder scan, and hopefully that'll be, and hopefully he'll know between that and the ultrasound, he'll be able to tell me that, okay, we didn't see any cancer, I'm hoping, and no diabetes, and maybe he'll say even I'll take another sample of your urine, and maybe that's, you can say that, that cleared up the thing. Maybe the antibiotics cleared up whatever you had, because I don't, like I said, I don't have that urge again to constantly, to go anymore. So I'm hoping that was it, and so hopefully that will be the end of that. And I'm hoping that, like I said, I feel normal, and I'm hoping that that's that. So anyway, so again, I'm gonna close the Patreon page probably today or tomorrow. I'll just close it, and again, and I'll make a post about it. But it's no, like I said, no, I'm not bitter about it or anything. I tried to do it to see if I can, you know, make some more money to help, help me when I buy movies and all that stuff. But it didn't work out. So hey, it is what it is. But I'm still gonna react to TV shows and stuff. Like I said, I'm still like I said, in the middle of doing, Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, doing that. Okay, and I'm not going to react to Daredevil. I'm probably going to do a series review of it. They dropped first 2 episodes of it, and so normally I think I would react to Daredevil, but I'm not going to do that until I'm finished with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'll just probably do a series review of season 4 of Daredevil at the end when it's over. I'll probably do it that way. But yeah, okay. So, and also, I was going to order movies. I actually was going to order them on Wednesday and then Thursday, but then when I tried to place the order, one of the movies I wanted to get won't come until Monday. So I said, you know what? I'll just order it to movies today, and I'll make a post about it, and let the movies come on Monday or Tuesday, and then that way I'll have the contest next week. So there will be the first digital code giveaway contest of this year will be next weekend for sure. Okay, I just have to order the movies and stuff, because like I said, because I normally do 3 movies, and except the one movie that I really want to get wasn't going to be able to come, and if they were going to come by Saturday today, I would have ordered them. So, but the other movie's not going to come until Monday, and well, now since it's Saturday, it's probably going to be Tuesday, and so I'll order those 3 movies, and I'll make a post about it, and we'll definitely have the first digital code giveaway contest of this year. And again, I apologize for not doing one earlier. Like I said, I had a lot of distractions between my brother's situation and then my whole situation. Just totally distracted me from focusing on certain things, and kind of been neglecting this channel a bit. I did do a video for my other channel last week, and I'm probably going to do another video for that channel this week as well, later today. Like I said, around 4 o'clock, my niece is going to get off work, and then she'll come pick me up. She'll pick up my sister, her mother, and then pick up me, and I think we'll all 4 of us will go to the rehab place where my brother is and visit with him. We'll sit with him for a couple of hours and visit with him, and then I'll come back and like I said, episode 8 right now is rendering. I'm putting it up. I just got finished editing episode 7. Your friendly name is and episode 8 is rendering right now. So I'm gonna once that's finished, I'm gonna probably work on editing it from now until about 2 o'clock, and then leave. And then I'm gonna go outside because I gotta go get money from the bank. I'm gonna put money on my what you call card. My what do you call this card? I forget what the name of this. My Omni card. Okay, put money on the Omni card. That it's taking the place of the Metro card here in New York. So it's an Omni card now. I'll put money on that, and then go to the supermarket, and then go down the hill, and go to the other Family Dollar. And then I go to the deli, grab a sandwich, and probably go to the Chinese place to get some food for the week, and then get back into the house, and then just wait till my niece and my sisters come pick me up, and then we'll go visit my brother for a couple of hours. Hopefully we'll get over there by maybe like 5 and stay till maybe like 8, and then have them drop me back off. Okay. So I think that's that. So again, I'm not bitter about the patron thing. It happens. Okay. Sometimes you don't have a successful channel. You don't have a successful channel, but I do want to monetize this channel. So I'm going to try to do more live. Like I said, I did live streams last year, and then I quit doing it because I get distracted easily. But I want to get to the point where I do 2 live streams a week, maybe Friday and Saturday. Do 2 live streams, and maybe I'll even do a live stream about. I want to try to make them interesting so people will watch them. Okay, so I got to kick around ideas about that. But the digital code giveaway contest will definitely be next weekend. I just got to pick the movies and one of them. I'll make a post about it so you know. And then, like I said, I'll make a post about that. And hopefully, like I said, my thing is Wednesday. Hopefully, once I get the bladder scan, the doctor will be able to tell me. Hopefully, it's not cancer or anything else. Like I said, because I haven't been feeling sick, so I'm hoping that's a sign that it's not cancer and all that stuff. And like I said, I've gone back to normal, my normal kind of urination pattern, I guess, that I had before the incident, where I'm able to hold it and stuff. I've noticed it during the week, and I actually been looking at the time that I go to the bathroom and see how long it's been, and I can usually, like I said, I can usually hold it and stuff. And so I think I've gone back to my normal pattern and stuff. So I'm hoping that this was a blip in the radar, hopefully, and nothing more serious, has happened to me. Okay, so that's that. Okay. Anyway, hope everyone have a good weekend. Stay safe, be well. It's supposed to be 41 today. I think next week it's supposed to get into the 60s, which is incredible for New York. In March, like I said, it's 41 degrees and it's very windy today. So I'll probably wear my leather jacket and stuff, and my hat and my mask and stuff. It was windy yesterday too as well, but it is supposed to get into the 60s, lower 60s, this week coming up. Oh yeah, that's right. And it's daylight saving time this week, spring forward. Okay, so gotta make sure I remember that to change my the clock. I know on my cell phone and my computer it will change. I also got to change that. I got like a clock radio I have down there, so I'll have to change that as well. So to make sure, because I know my phone will change, obviously, and my computer will change. But it's daylight saving time this weekend. So it's supposed to spring forward. Okay, spring forward an hour, so we have more daylight hours. Although it's beginning, I noticed it yesterday too. It was more light when because I get off the train usually around 5:45. I noticed it wasn't dark or anything. It was more lighter. Okay, and no, it's supposed to be darker in the morning, I guess, when we leave. But when I leave work at 5, it'll still be light out and stuff. So, so when we actually leave, at 6, it'll really been 5, so it'll be darker in the morning actually. Okay, rather than lighter out, but doesn't matter anyway. This, so I forgot about my friends mentioned it this week. So say a little prayer for me. Hopefully, like I said, once I get my bladder scan done, that and the ultrasound that the doctor did, he'll be able to tell me that no, you don't have any cancer. You know what freaked me out? There's a famous band called Tony, and I think the lead singer, he died the other day. We found out he died. He was 64 years old, and we didn't know what he died of. Then I looked up the thing, and they said, "Oh, he died of bladder cancer." I said, "Oh God, I just hope that's not a sign." I said, "Oh Jesus Christ, I'm getting a bladder scan this week, and this guy died of bladder cancer." I hope. That freaked me out for a minute thinking about that. So I'm hoping it's not, that again, that I don't have that, and it's just something. Maybe it was like a urinary tract infection, and the antibiotics that I took for the week cleared it up. Okay, like I said, I do feel back to normal, and even when I was, having that, that kind of weekend episode of that thing, I never felt headachy or throwing up or felt sick or nauseous. But like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know all the symptoms. But I'm hoping those 2 tests tell him that no, you don't have it, and it's probably just a urinary tract infection or something. So, and the antibiotics you took probably helped clear it up. Okay, so fingers crossed for me that that's happening. Okay, so anyway, again, like I said, I am gonna try to upload those episodes, and hopefully I can finish editing episode 8 by the time I come back from seeing my brother, and so that'll be 3 episodes. That'll be episode 6, 7, and 8. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I can upload those tonight along with this video and another video from my other channel, Club Views and Opinions. I can do that as well. So hopefully that's it. So hope everybody have a great weekend. Like I said, stay safe, be well, and like I said, I'm ending the Patreon page. Okay, I'm gonna take it out of the bottom. Once I close it, I'll take it out of the bottom of the thing. I'm gonna leave my merchandise store open because people are still buying stuff from there. So and I'll try to promote that more heavily. And I'll definitely, like I said, when I start doing the live streams, I'm gonna probably first start doing one on Saturdays, and if I can finally get a hang of it, I'll try to probably do 2 of them, maybe one Friday and one Saturday. Okay, like that, and that will hopefully I'll get enough viewers and stuff, not enough hours to my channel, so I can finally get my channel monetized. Okay, which will, that'll be a nice thing to happen. So anyway, and like I said, I'll make a post when I order the movies for the digital code giveaway contest, which should be next weekend. Okay, so everybody stay safe, be well, have a good weekend, stay safe, be well, and this is Trepacer. Thanks so long. Take care.